Oh,
I meant to bring it. My bag of,
what's that?
I meant to bring my big bag of newspaper bags.
Oh, yeah.
I kept all week long. I said, don't forget it, don't forget it.
Okay, so I guess we can call the meeting to order, and why don't we just, why don't we each put on our mics and identify who we are? Well, starting down at that end.
Hi, I'm Leo Fleischman.
Okay,
Jeff Corbin.
John Marr.
Linda Choquetti.
Carol Carey.
Amanda Matuzik.
Laura Robertson.
Okay, great. First was approval of the meeting minutes, but I read that they haven't been written up for last month, so we will skip on that and move over to privilege of the floor, which I don't think there is any privilege of the floor today. So new business and action. Laura, is there any new business or action that we
No,
know?
not really. No.
Okay. So the next, moving right along, discussion item, Arbor Day logistics. So I guess let's just kind of go over where we stand with Arbor Day. I did print out our Excel document. Hopefully I have enough. I did this very rapidly. So I can, I think Laura and I can give a brief update on that. The flyer did go out this week. So announcing that it was on April 29th from 11 to 1. If we look at the spreadsheet, this kind of goes over the things we have to do. So we've sent out the communication, that's complete. We have the town hall reserved, right, Laura? We've publicized it on our website. Amy does now have the information from Faith for the Instagram account. But I don't know if she's had a chance to put anything on the Instagram account. But at least now Amy has control of that, and Faith has turned over that information to Amy. Laura, do we know anything about trying to get any publicity for the Daily Gazette?
So I don't know if it was released or not, but the supervisor was doing a press release on it just so that it would go out to the press.
Oh, okay.
So that's nice. I think she was just going to use our words as much as I know, or I haven't read it or seen it, but I do think they're working on a press release.
Okay. Okay, great.
And I did ask for the director of our community programs to see if she could push it to the families for the recreation program families.
Oh, okay. And if anybody, we could just print out any flyers and put them up like in Niski Co-op or, JCC or Stewart's. Yeah. So does anybody need the flyer? It was in that email push, right? But I can send it out to folks if, does anybody want to take the lead on posting anything?
I could post some around.
Okay. Okay,
Not taking the
John.
lead, but I'll do some posting.
Yeah, okay, just, like the co-op
Yeah.
board and
But-
any,
But
And
also
we
wonder
actually
about,
we have two flyers. We have one that has the words, and then we have one that's like just very colorful.
Mhm.
Does not have a lot of words.
yeah, so I think it's more just to get the word out where and when it is,
Mhm.
so that people know.
is there anything we could do this Saturday for Earth Day? Isn't there some event happening where we could?
I think we originally talked like of planting the tree early, and then we could use that for publicity. But the highway department really wants to plant the tree on Arbor Day.
I'm
So
just wondering if there's going to be a lot of people walking around here at Earth Day, right? So,
I think the only thing the town's doing for Earth Day is the drug take back day.
there's no
We were
table.
going to do a
Oh.
composting day, but it got moved to May 2nd.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But that did make me think, I saw the big sign out there. Can we change that to Arbor
I
Day?
saw that when I was coming in. Yes, there's an Arbor Day announcement on the TV there,
Okay,
and I do want to just leave that sign and change it to Arbor Day.
that would help, because
Yeah,
a lot of
I
people
think so
do
too.
drive down this road, so I'll put that down for you, Laura.
Yeah.
The electronic sign.
Wait, who does the flyer go out to?
It goes out to the email push, which is,
You have to enroll on the town of Niskino's website to get the email blasts, but we do have a fair number of people enrolled, like a couple hundred.
So,
You get them.
yeah, so if there's other ways we can get it out, but that's the way it gets out through email. If you have any ideas, we're open for.
So it was
Yeah.
sent to us. I remember seeing it, but it was sent to us by email, or was it on the town website?
I think I might have sent you the flyer, but
Yeah.
I'll send you the email that came out. And so I think from that you can sign up for getting on any of the town of Niskuna email distributions. And so I'll do that.
I can send you guys the like the colorful just Arbor Day is this date flyer too if you want that one.
Yeah. The tree to plant, it sounds like, Laura, you bought a Shiloh splash birch.
Yeah, I apologize for the confusion on that. I thought that we could get either one.
Uh-huh.
And then when I told them that we had a choice of Fatigans, then it was all over because we already have an account at Fatigans and it's way easier for them to pick up.
Okay.
So we went with the Shiloh birch after Carol did all the work on the paperbark maple.
Okay.
Sorry, Carol.
No, that's okay. So, okay. And what we decided with that, and let's see, give me your thoughts, is that we didn't want to plant the tree at the beginning with the town supervisor. That just didn't seem to work well. So we're going to just have the town supervisor open up the event. She'll stand where we give out the trees and just welcome everybody to Arbor Day. And then we can start to give out the trees. It sounds like the highway department is going to be there and they're going to plant the tree during the event. It's going to be off, way off where these solar panels are. So even if some of us go over when we see them planting the tree to at least acknowledge,
Yeah,
and
but-
if anybody's walking around, we can mention that.
But if it's going to be like last year, we're going to have to be staying at the tables.
Right, right.
Can't desert the tables either.
That's true. That's true.
I can wander over there and tell them that they're doing a good job.
Okay.
I don't think they need like very many people because a lot of times when they're planting it, there's like no one there. So I think they're like okay with that, but it's just for some reason they want to do it at that time. So that's fine.
And we can tell people when we're handing out the trees, the town tree is being planted over there if you want to go take a look at, this special Shiloh birch, Shiloh splash birch. It does have pretty variegated leaves. So we could do that, but it is going to be off to the side. So they're picking out where the tree is going to be planted, Laura, and all that's.
I'll
Okay.
prep the site and get it all ready to go.
Okay, order and pick up trees. Now, where did we end up ordering them? Saratoga or Schenectady or both?
So we ordered them from both. And so the one thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is that Saratoga, you called ahead of time and they said it'd be okay to hold them over for us. But either me or you should call them tomorrow morning and let them know to hold them over for us.
Yeah.
I know they said they would, and I did order more than what they said they needed to hold them over. But we should probably just let them know that we're not picking them up tomorrow because I got the little card in the mail to pick them up tomorrow. So I don't mind doing that. I can. I just didn't know if you had done it.
No, when I can do it too, I would just need the order number and everything in
Yeah.
order to do it. So,
I have the little card. I'll have Trish do it in the morning.
okay. And if they have any issues, say that we definitely spoke to them and they could keep them in the refrigerator until the following Friday. So, but that following Friday, who will be able to pick up the trees?
I don't mind picking it. I can just drive the town EV vehicle all over the place and not emit greenhouse gases if we want. It's okay.
Okay, so you'll pick them up
Yeah.
tomorrow? Okay. Amanda did a nice job of writing up the tree and the planting instructions, and we have that up on our website. Now, we should do we print that out? Do we have?
Oh yeah, that was a question that Trish had for us. So she was wondering she can print them all out and cut them, and we could hand them out with the trees that we're handing out. But she didn't know if we'd want to do that. She wasn't sure.
Well, that's what we did before.
We've done it both ways. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I think we have enough ink. I don't know. That's kind of a Linda question.
I think the last time we did it, we put planting instructions on the back.
Oh,
Of
we should do that
the
again.
Color. One side is the color and the aspects of the tree. And the back side, we did color.
Oh, okay. Can we do?
Or
I think we
did
could do
planting
that. We could do
instructions.
that again. I think that's a good idea. That when
Yeah.
you hand the tree to people, you're giving them planting instructions.
Yeah.
I really think we should do that.
Okay. And why don't we hold, because we have a couple people. Hi, do you want to introduce, this is the tree council meeting. Do you want to introduce yourselves or we're just sitting and listening or? Okay, okay. We're talking about our Arbor Day event, which is going to be April 29th. So that's what we're covering basically tonight is prepping for that.
Okay, so we'll put planting instructions on the back, and then I don't think we want to attach them to the tree because sometimes they get wet. So
Right.
we'll just have little piles in front of each tree, and you can grab the tree and the piece of paper and then hand it to someone. Try and make sure you're grabbing the same piece of paper as.
We need rocks.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
I brought the rocks last time. I can bring the
Okay.
rocks again.
For wind, so,
We're not weird.
Rocks, trees.
Yeah, it just seems like every time.
Squares from your chair blocks.
You know,
Oh,
even though I
Okay.
brought a whole thing of rocks though, like I think we were still low. So if somebody else has like I have like a little basket of rocks that I use for my pool and my pool's not up yet, which is what I brought last year. But if you have some big ones, you could bring them with you. Like they're like this big.
Okay. Rocks. Anybody who can bring rocks. So we've got the information on the trees. So the booths, let me tell you where we stand on the booths, and I'm going to spend the next couple days just confirming. But everybody that I'm saying has agreed. The Albany Pine Bush, Capital Region Prism, which is going to have a booth on invasive species and native gardens. Pollinator Garden was not able, they were not available, Preeti wasn't.
Okay.
And Ecos never got back to me. But this, and I tried them like 3 or 4 times. They did send me an email about fundraising and donating, but they never got back to me on the April 29th date. The Schenectady Soil and Water Conservation District are coming. National Grid is coming. The Mohawk Hudson Land Conservancy is coming.
What about Nature Conservancy?
No, they are a no. Schenectady Cornell Cooperative Extension, that's the Master Gardener Program. They were coming. I didn't do anything with a pesticide-free booth.
I talked to Ellen about that. If she comes, she'll be self-reliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The Silent Wings Live Raptor program is coming. They had a couple conditions. Oh, we need to get an invoice from them. They have to, and Laura and I have talked about this, but because of the raptors, they have to be up against a wall and so that like the birds don't like people coming from all directions. So Laura was thinking of barricading it off so that people could only come from one direction and see if that would work. If not, if they really want a wall, we'd kind of have to put them up against the building and they'd have to, people would have to walk across. But I think that's enough of yeah, I think people would walk over there to see the birds. So,
And the one advantage to tucking them into the building is one, it's very safe for the birds, I think. But 2, you also kind of drive by the birds when you're coming in. So you'll notice them. And I mean, it's still your choice to go over to them, but you'll know they're there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I've told everybody to get there by 10:15. So they'll be setting up when we'll be setting up, and if they want another location. So those are all the booths.
Carol, is there room for another? My wife Jeanette is on the Schenectady Greenhouse Council or whatever it's called. And they're sort of linked with Angie and the Cooperative Extension, but they're interested in selling raffle tickets for their upcoming.
Yeah.
That was the one I emailed you about. So our comptroller said it was okay to do raffle tickets as long as the town is not associated with the raffling.
Okay.
But I know we have said no to the rowing club before, so I leave it up to you
Lacrosse
guys.
Club, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Although this is kind of directly related to things that are growing, so I felt like it, it ties more into to Tree Council and Arbor Day. But I defer to you guys.
Yeah, what do people think? We haven't wanted to, we've had an olive oil company want to come and sell stuff, and
We said no.
we didn't want to branch too far from
Yeah.
Arbor Day, and if we started to say yes to one, then we'd have to say it. But greenhouse gas is related.
Mhm.
So what do people think about that? Or-
I
Okay.
think it's
I'll
okay.
abstain.
Okay, so
Will they be talking about their CSA program?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, Jeff, if she could just also have information about growing things, then I feel like that's the defense. Like
okay,
she can have stuff about the greenhouse and how it helps people, and but and then if they come to their booth, they can have the raffle. Yeah.
great.
and so what's the name of that booth, Jeff? Just so
I will get you an official name.
okay.
I think it's the Friends of the Friends of the FOGH. I will get back to you.
Okay.
Send that to me so we can make a sign.
Yep. So you're gonna make all the signs, right?
Yeah, I thought
Linda?
it's Friends of Schenectady Greenhouse. Maybe they just dropped Schenectady from that.
So it's not greenhouse gas emissions
It's-
related. It's
Right.
greenhouse.
It's the
like growing.
greenhouse
Okay,
growing.
the
So they run a, for people who have food insecurity, they grow food that people can go there and get.
Okay, got it.
And yeah, it's
Okay.
right next to the tennis courts there at Central Park.
Okay.
Do they have is it all like vegetables and things, or do they have some orchard trees and things too there? Do they have any trees?
No, I think it's they don't have enough space for that kind of thing.
Oh, so it's
I
all
think
just
they're only doing consumables.
consumables.
Okay.
Is that the one that you go to when you're driving down the road and the park is on the right and the greenhouse is on the left, and you can take composting classes there?
Well, it's in the middle of, it's like through one of those central roads. You know where the tennis courts are? It's
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
next to the tennis courts.
That's the one. Yeah, I've been to that
I'm sure
greenhouse.
there's more than one.
They also do
greenhouse.
composting classes, and they teach people like sustainable ways of gardening.
Yeah,
Oh, so if they have anything on composting too, that would be,
great.
They have another garden site on Fair Road.
yes.
That's the Cornell
They're
Cooperative.
really cool. I like that
That's
greenhouse a
Cornell
lot.
Or it used to be, it's like
Oh,
changed.
okay, because
Yeah.
that's where you could pick up the CSA alternate to the greenhouse. Unless
Yeah,
they
yeah.
change
Yeah,
things.
so there's a greenhouse. Oh, those tennis courts.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
I mean, there's Roots and Wisdom, run by the Cornell Cooperative. They run a CSA and they grow on the tennis courts.
They're connected. They're closely linked. And the master gardeners and so forth
Okay.
are all out of that. And it's just, it's so the master gardeners and the cooperative extension folks are going to be selling plants at our thing. But the raffle is going to be raising money to be able to support the greenhouse and their growing project.
But I think that as long as they can just bring also information about growing things, that's all we need.
Okay.
And then I forgot, I don't have this on here, but since last time we are having, my understanding is 2 tree experts at a booth.
Oh, just like a tree expert.
Rennie is coming
I
and
like
he was going to bring somebody else. So, so I think that's like, if you ask a question, if you have any questions about your trees, they should be able to help answer.
Mhm.
We aren't doing the art contest or the tree seed activity. We decided at the last meeting, do we want any brochures or any,
We could do kind of a tree council table and bring the brochures that we have down if people wanted
do we
some.
still have?
Yeah,
some
we still have a variety of brochures.
Okay. But do we have that really nice color one?
We still have the nice colored
That
green ones.
John did, okay.
Yeah.
So that would be nice. Let's see.
So
Oh,
Linda,
are we,
can you be in charge of gathering the brochures? I'll put you in charge of that.
Trish and I have been talking about it, and I just want a head count of how many-ish we
I
should.
feel like we should just bring down everything we have because it's just leftovers from other.
Okay, so
Yeah.
big box of everything and
Mhm.
take
And then
out.
we can just put it out on the table with our rocks.
Okay,
Are we gonna be able to do an activity
Yes.
for children?
Yes, we have 2 girls from a Girl Scout troop that will help kids and adults, if they so choose, make tulips.
Oh, okay.
They're adorable. I bought the supplies today. I didn't tell Linda, but I also want to bring glitter, but I'm not going to tell her that.
It's outside, I don't care.
Oh, that's nice. Those look like
Oh.
straws with,
Compostable straws.
Compostable.
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's
Cool.
nice.
Are they adorable? Trish found those.
That's
Oh no, Linda found those.
Yeah.
Yeah, Linda found those.
You know, and I think I mentioned I was at a daffodil and tulip festival today at Namkeg, and they had a neat activity. Let me see if I can. They had different birds' eggs around in little nests, and it's the actual what the egg looked like,
Mhm.
and then they had letters on each, and then you had to go around and you got the letters, and then it was a joke, and it gives you the answer
Oh
to
my gosh, that's
the bird joke. But it made me think maybe not this year, but maybe for some activity we could do something similar. They made the eggs out of paper mache, but maybe we could do tree leaves or
Tree
something.
leaves.
But here I'll show you the pictures, and then these are the different Berkshire bird jokes. So you got the letters from the eggs, and then it would give you answers to these corny bird jokes. It says.
Right,
So,
right.
That sounds like a cute idea.
Yeah, it just seemed interesting. And the little nests were all along the trail. There were like 8 or 9
Wow.
nests.
Yeah, we could do that and use it every year.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm almost like, can I borrow your bird eggs?
They probably would
Yeah, I
let
like
you.
the speckling.
Except they're still doing this daffodil and tulip festival till early May.
Well,
So
If you collect pieces of bark,
yes,
interesting pieces of bark, you could label them pretty and
Mhm.
do
yeah.
the same thing.
Two bird jokes.
I'll
Quack jokes.
There was one tree at the Berkshire Botanical Garden that I just loved the bark. It looks like a camouflage tree. So,
Mm.
anyways, I'm digressing.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's a great idea, Carol.
so,
I think they would like that. Like you, and you could even just hand the cards out as the kids were getting there,
yeah,
and then you could have everything kind of hidden along the bottoms of the trees.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was a neat tree.
Mhm.
So the next thing is, so we've got the Girl Scout activity. You're gonna take care of that. Do we have enough tables? We're gonna have to bring a fair number of tables.
Yeah, I'll put Trish on that. I think she can help organize that.
Probably at like, and chairs.
And chairs. We can do
Okay.
both.
I
Okay,
think we needed more tables than we brought out last year.
I think we did too.
yeah,
The trees, we almost should have 1 tree per table. Last year, we were trying to put 2 or 3 trees per table.
It was a little squished.
well, I think we had more than 1 tree per table, didn't we? You mean
We-
tree species?
Giveaway.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
had 2 or 3 tree
Yeah.
per table,
okay.
but we had the big bin and the piece of paper. It
And we
was
have
tight.
17 different types of trees,
Yeah.
so,
They're probably still gonna
That's
have
a
to be
lot of
shared
tables.
on the table.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't have 17 tables plus
No.
all our vendors.
so maybe if we do, I thought we had like 2 types of trees in each bin, and if we did 2 on one side,
Yeah,
2 on the other, that would be 4.
You also don't have 17 people to stand at 17.
Yeah.
So we
Right,
have a
right,
ton-
exactly.
well, that's true too.
Yeah.
But we also have a ton of people that are always willing to help.
Yeah.
Like, so if we feel like we need more volunteers, I can start rounding them up.
Okay.
Probably.
We'll have Linda, Trish, and Jean, me,
Okay.
all of you guys. Are you guys all
Yeah,
able to come on
everybody
Arbor
able
Day?
to come? How about the Friday before the,
I think I can.
Yeah,
Yes,
for
I
for
thought-
prepping the
Well, I
trees.
can't come till 10:30, 11.
I
That's
think
okay.
It was gonna be more like, because you have to.
Yeah, because I have to pick them up. It'll be
Usually
it'll
like 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay. I could do-
Okay.
2 on Friday?
Yeah,
I can't.
okay.
I can after 4.
We may be done by then.
it usually goes pretty fast
Yeah,
Where
So-
is this taking place?
right here.
here.
We make a huge mess right here. So,
It's gonna, you
Yeah.
pick up the little trees and you put them in the little, you wrap up in the newspaper and put them in the bag and so it's ready to hand out.
Before. Okay. And You said you need the
Newspaper bags?
newspaper bags. Yeah,
You have a bunch too?
we had about 2 years of.
They work.
You're giving more than
Times
me. I have 1
delivery.
year. You have 2 years. Because
So-
last year I gave them all to you.
We saved them all
We
for
have
our dog, and then the
compostable
dog died.
bags.
So,
And you have compostable bags as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
so
Yeah.
should
we
we just
don't-
bring them on Friday?
Mhm.
We
It
need
took-
newspapers more than we need the bags.
Amanda, you-
Okay, I'll bring newspapers too. I don't have that many.
On
newspapers.
Friday?
Right.
On Friday, yeah.
Okay, so we've got John, Linda, Laura, Amanda, me. I think I can talk my husband into coming.
And we can probably get Jean would be my guess too.
Okay. And we need newspapers too, right? Do we-
I've been saving newspapers and you are bringing
I
newspapers.
have some, but I
right?
don't have that many.
Oh, really? I have been saving
And
newspapers.
I
actually,
can
I
start.
stupidly, I put it in the recycle bin yesterday.
Oops.
I'll go in the kitchen and see what we have.
Okay, but I told my mom and they get the Daily Gazette delivered every day. So she's been saving. I have a lot of news.
We haven't, but we get the Gazette and the New York Times daily right now, so I can save for the next week. So that if we all bring our newspapers, I think that should. And then John and Leo, are you coming on Friday?
I will try to come.
Okay,
Might be a little bit late.
okay. And John, you'll bring the plastic bags, and then we have the compostable ones. Okay. Is that everything we can think of for setup and prep?
Are we gonna get the town guys to bring the tables out? Because I remember like we were
A lot of work last year. Let me ask.
doing it and it was,
Yeah, that would be helpful.
That
They
would
could-
be helpful. That was a lot of work last year.
Well, we were under a tight, they were coming to set up and we were still getting the tables up. So,
I'll ask.
yeah, that would.
and only because like now I'm thinking with the birds,
We should-
people are there by the building and we're, going in and out with tables. I don't know if that's gonna be
Yeah, maybe we can ask
Kinda
the
just-
highway to bring the tables out like an hour early or something.
disturbing to the
Okay.
birds.
Yeah.
You know.
Point. That's a good point.
The proclamation.
Yep. I will make sure that that's done in April, which is when we normally do it.
Before,
Oh man, maybe. I
It's next week.
yeah, well, let me see if I can do that. It might have to be late, but if I can squeeze it in, I will.
yeah, that's just writing it, right?
Yeah.
She signs it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So she's not gonna like,
She's not going to read.
I think we
Yeah.
decided because it's kind of repetitive and we've read it a lot. That I think it'd be more welcoming to just have her like talk about,
Yeah.
yeah, just how great
And then
trees
you're
are.
going to prep her on that or?
If she needs me to.
Okay.
She sometimes does and sometimes doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just to open the event basically. So we're not handing out trees until she says something, but
I did make sure that that was okay with her, and she said yes, she would like to do that.
okay. That's all I can think of other than we need people to take photos. So if you're there at the event and you have your, phones or anything, just, capture photos of the various booths and activities because we like to post them on our website. But that's all I can think of. Is there anything that people think that I'm missing, John?
Yeah, well, this isn't something we're missing, but it goes in the publicity thing. I just thought I'd try to find it on the town webpage. There's a link on the town page that says summer events. There's nothing on there.
Oh, we might
At
be
least
able to
after
fix
this month.
that.
Sorry?
We might be able to fix that. If you go to the news and events, it's the top news and event though.
News and events. Oh, there. Okay, yeah, there it is, right.
Where are you going? Because I can probably post it to where you're going too.
The very, very bottom on is,
He's looking at summer events and it's not summer.
Oh,
but it does list this month of April. It looks like nothing's happening in April.
There is another listing for calendar someplace.
Hmm.
Oh, I can put it on the calendar too, so it comes up
Oh, that
for
would be
people.
good.
Oh, okay, I can do
I
that.
don't know where I've seen the calendar.
And then you'll get it as
Or
soon as the
meeting.
drug take back, we'll put it.
And I'll put it on the sign.
Okay, great. So I think that's everything with Arbor Day.
At least it's under events, at least under news, yeah.
It is the Friends of the Greenhouse.
Friends of the Greenhouse, okay. So that'll be great if that, everybody will be here on Saturday and people will come on Friday to help with the tree prep. So I think that's everything for Arbor Day. So I think we can move on to the planning department project updates.
Okay, so haven't really had a lot of movement on a lot of the projects that we were looking at last time. They're just slowly moving through the planning board. So like next steps for the Mohawk Golf Club is that I need to schedule a walkthrough with you guys, but we mentioned it at the planning board and he said he wanted to wait because it's just really marshy and gushy and it's not great for walking around yet. And so I was like, that's fine because they still have a long way to go. And then I think I already updated you on this, but on 3900 State Street, we asked for them to save the large spruce tree
Yes.
and they did. So I think I gave you that update at the last meeting. That is big for us. Normally we ask for something like that and they say no. So I think that's one of the first times that we've ever been able to have them work around a large tree in a parking lot.
Is that the
Large
Kia
spruce.
place?
Yeah. They built the
Yeah.
parking lot around the tree.
Okay.
Actually, the planning board's not recommending that the project go forward, but
Huh.
regardless, like they did build
Okay.
the parking lot around the tree. So as far as tree council goes, I think we're pretty good with that project.
Okay.
And then there's a couple little ones that just really haven't had any movement. Today we were looking at Chase Bank, and every time something's going into ShopRite Plaza, we're trying to pick away at all the dead trees and make it look better. So there was a lot of dead ashes as you were coming down the entrance to ShopRite. We got those replaced last year when Starbucks went in. The Chase Bank ATMs going in, we got them to remove all of the trees that were dead around there. And I actually drove through last week and they have replanted.
Okay.
So there's just like lines of new, and it hasn't leafed out yet, but they definitely replanted everywhere that we asked. Even,
what
like,
did they
behind the
plant?
building.
Did they take, what did they plant?
I don't know.
Oh,
It
okay.
actually looks shrubby, but I don't know. I'll have to wait till the leaves come out.
So is there a reason why that didn't come through us as to?
Oh, that did. Remember when we were doing that site? Oh, the actual tree species? I think
Yeah.
we gave them our list to choose from. So it will be something on our list, is my
Okay.
guess. Yeah.
Okay.
I think after we did that walkthrough and we showed them everything that needed to be taken down, we gave them a list of like 4 things that they could choose to plant.
Okay.
But I think one of them may have been serviceberry.
Yeah.
And so I am wondering if what they planted was the multi-stem serviceberry, not the single trunk. But I'm still okay with that.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are or not, but I don't think we specified single stem and multi-stem.
Okay.
That's my guess to what they planted, but it hasn't leafed out, so I don't know.
Okay.
It's better than a lot of dead ash trees there, though.
Mhm. But the ash trees are big. These are going to be the little serviceberry bushes, right?
They look, we'll see, but multi-stem serviceberries I think can get pretty big, but
Okay.
like when I was out there, they weren't like any taller than like this, so I don't know exactly what they are.
Okay. Okay.
I'll have to keep an eye on them. But so this project, which I don't have electronically, but I just wanted to run past you, is the Chase Bank. I think we looked at it once and we asked. So right now, when you're driving down the entrance to ShopRite, there's the Karma Bistro sign,
Mhm.
and in front there's planting beds in front of that Karma Bistro, and they're pretty neglected.
Yeah.
And so because Chase Bank is going into where the Karma Bistro is, the planning board asked them to refresh the planting beds and have the tree council look at them. So I can pass it around to you guys, but there's just a couple things that I wanted your opinion on. So they're proposing actually to plant 2 trees where there's never been trees, which is cool. And those are serviceberries. I don't know if they're specified as single stem or not, though. And then there's also red twig dogwood, which aren't trees. They're shrubs. We hand them out sometimes. And then there's a line of inkberry holly. So those are all natives, and I think would look really nice. The one thing that I noted is those beds are pretty neglected, and they definitely need some sprucing up. But they do, a fair number of them do have some really nice salvia. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in the early summer, late spring, there's a lot of purple that is in that because there's some salvia, and they're proposing to only put grasses back. So that's what I meant about it would be nice if Preeti could come because I
Mhm.
don't know if these grasses are as much service to pollinators as the salvia.
Right.
So I can just show it to you guys.
They're not. Grasses are wind pollinated.
Are they good for pollinators?
No, they're
No,
wind
they're not.
pollinated.
I mean, it's wood oat, switchgrass, and little blue stem grass. Like, I don't know any of those.
Fescue.
But don't they tend to feed grasses?
So like,
Should we all gather around?
yeah, you
Yeah.
guys want to gather?
Yeah.
Treat them. They have grasses for, insecticides.
Okay, so that,
I mean,
in order to keep it looking nice, you herbicide around.
yeah, well, herbicides don't serve.
Want to gather?
Yeah, it could be. But, the weeding for a bunch grass isn't gonna be much different from, I think that what those are bunch grasses as opposed to like a turf grass. So it might not be more.
So can you orient us?
Yeah, so this is if you're coming down the road, and Karma Bistro's sign right now is literally right here.
It's like Ball Town is down here.
Balltown's over here. This
Oh,
is ShopRite.
And where's like
This is-
Starbucks?
Okay.
Starbucks is like right here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know.
So you're coming down the road, you go this way to ShopRite, that
Yeah.
way to like Dollar Tree
Okay.
or Tequila's. And yeah, and Karma Bistro's literally like right at the end. So these are these planting things, and right now they're really neglected and only I think have basically salvia that grows in them. Although salvia blooms a lot. This is where they'd put the 2 serviceberry trees.
Could we get something bigger or?
Then serviceberry? We could ask. I don't mind. That's what I brought it to.
Sure.
These are tiny, right? This is the red twig dogwood. And then these are the hollies. But this is probably fine for holly. But what they're doing is they're replacing the beds with these wood oat, switchgrass, and little blue stem grass. And on the one hand, I can imagine that that may be easier to maintain, which there's benefits to planting things that are easier to maintain because they're clearly not good at maintaining beds. But on the other hand, I'm wondering if that's a disservice to the pollinators, because I don't think that any of those things flower.
No, they're not.
They're not, right? And they're like taking this one and they're removing everything that's in there and replacing it with grass.
And
So, like-
what is in there
Lawn grass?
now?
Right now it's kind of just weeds and some salvia.
Okay.
So I personally think maybe we should ask for a tree in there because that's big, and then we could ask for bigger trees?
What trees did we plant down here?
we planted along here. We planted they're maples. Are they maples?
I don't
Can't
remember, but it was a nice, something from our list.
I can't remember.
Uh-huh. I'm just trying to get some sort of, not cohesiveness, but just,
Hmm.
versus, let's just plant this and this. If there's anything that makes it,
There's birches here. This is all birches here. Starbucks planted them and didn't let them die.
okay,
And then there's all our new trees over here, which is where all the ash trees died.
right.
But I can't remember what they are. Sorry. I might be able to find that on my computer. And then this would be, we've never had trees here.
Yeah. so
I do think they want small trees so that they don't block the business signs, though.
that- Okay.
But, maybe we could move the service berries over to here and then ask for bigger trees there and then ask for a big tree there. I don't know.
Would this block signs here if we did slightly bigger?
I personally think it'd be fine. But I have asked them for trees there before and they've said no. This is
Okay.
the first time I've ever seen the trees.
Yeah,
You could do a long, tall columnar
like a
Yeah.
sweet gum
sweet gum.
or,
What's the business next to it?
This is super cut right there.
Super. No, that's actually pizza place.
The pizza, sorry, yeah, next door is
Then
super cut.
Supercuts. Then nail salon or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And the CBD store's out.
CBD store is vacant. Chase is gonna take Karma Bistro and the cleaners. This is Mathnasium and that's
Shop right at home.
Shop Right at Home.
Okay.
So you guys, if you want, tell me and then I'll make notes on our recommendations to them. I want to get them back to them quickly. so we
Yeah,
can look
I
at
don't,
them.
I don't know if these three would be the same and add versus different types. So we have something here. We think they're maples. We have birches here. These don't have to be real small. These are the two that have to be small. as far as you
I've never been able to get them to say yes to any
Anything,
trees. This is the
okay.
first time I've ever seen them propose trees there.
Okay.
So they don't have to get
That's a
the
service berry.
permission or whatever of the,
The ones that are out there
Neighboring
flowering right now are so
businesses?
pretty.
that's where those trees are gonna be in front of?
It's the plaza,
Yeah, gotcha.
whatever they do.
But there's like 3 owners of the plaza, right?
Well, this is the one owner that we're dealing with.
There's 3 owners. This is I don't think it has an owner on there. ShopRite owns their parcel, and then there is a separate owner for where we just got all of those other ash trees taken down and replanted with what looks to me like multi-stem service berry.
Well, should we at least say single stem service berry?
That'll definitely get taller than the multi-stem. They're really pretty though. If you're coming in to town hall, those 2 little trees on the either side of the memorial that are in full bloom right now,
Okay.
those are service berries.
Okay.
Good for pollinators.
What do people think?
I think that sort of, given that this is maybe we shouldn't be greedy if they're offering to plant a tree. Let's go ahead and
But we'll make sure that it's single stem.
not say we want to have a sprawling oak or something like that.
Is that the same as a shad bush?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I know what we're talking about now.
They make berries that are really good for birds.
Okay.
As for the grasses, I'm a big fan of ornamental grasses, but I see your point about the pollinator issue. And if this is going to be lawn, like when you say that's grass, if that's going to be just green grass, it's going to need to be mowed and,
No, it's half wood oats, half
okay.
half switchgrass.
They couldn't do like.
I don't know grasses though.
Rebecca, Black-eyed Susans. Or,
I totally think we can ask. I'm bringing it to you guys because I am not a grass expert at all. I love flowers.
Those are, yeah. But those are native and
So blue stem's definitely native. I don't know about switchgrass and wood oats. Do you know that, Jeff?
I don't either. I'll look them up.
It does seem to me like that's a good location for a tree. I mean, it's not in front of any store.
right.
Um,
So maybe this could be a taller tree. and
Yeah.
Service berries are there.
Or we could ask for a big tall tree in this spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there, like a tulip tree or
Yeah, I
something.
think it's a great place for a big tree.
Yeah, so let's ask for a big tree in that across the way planting.
What about a red bud in those 2 spots?
Instead of the red twig dogwood.
I think we should ask.
Does that get too unmanageable? The red
I don't
bud?
think so.
I mean, just coming from this botanical garden today, I'm just so excited about all these different great looking trees.
What was the other grass? Switchgrass, little blue stem, and what was the third?
Wood oats. Wood oats,
Got it.
Christmantium latifolium.
Yeah. So they're very bunchy. They're not going to be turf-like grasses like a golf course. They're going to be these kind of
I know what you mean.
like
Which one's that?
all 3 of them
Okay.
are, yeah. So they might be like this tall.
Yeah.
So like as a landscaper, I think that is a nice thing to work in and such.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because they're not very good at taking care of the perennial flowers.
That might be it.
But I was worrying if we remove them and the grasses have no benefit to pollinators, that we're removing like some of the only pollinator places in that whole plaza. I don't know. But I do know that like little blue stem, I think is like maybe make seeds that they can eat in the fall or something maybe, or birds, for birds.
The grass seeds,
Yeah, the little blue stem.
probably.
Yeah. Which probably the other ones do as well. I've never really planted grass, so I don't know that as well because I obsess about plants normally, but I don't know them very well.
So they won't keep the salvia? They just want to like pick.
That's the plan, right? Is they're definitely removing the salvia and replacing it with the ornamental grasses. So I've right now got make sure to think single stem serviceberry and ask for a big tree across the street. Do we want to ask for red buds instead of red twig dogwood? That's those two. No. Yeah. This is right along the road, so they have to be small. The only question is, do we want to ask instead of the shrubs if they would put the red bud? I don't know. I like both.
Which is going to get taller?
Red buds get taller, but they also get wide. Red buds, they spread out. They're like wide.
Right.
They're only like 15 feet tall, but they can be like 15 feet wide.
Compared to what was there? The red twig dogwood. Those are small.
They're small, like,
Yeah.
and they may buy like a dwarf one, so it may not get any more bigger than like 4 feet by 4 feet.
But the red bud sounds like it would block the signs, right, for the buildings?
Yeah.
It might because it's spreading,
Mhm.
but it is so pretty. I don't know.
Hmm.
This is why I bring it to you guys.
I know. It's kind of hard without seeing the spot.
Well, the other thing is I could take these preliminary recommendations and then you guys could go look. I got this today
Okay.
and I was like, oh, we're having tree council. So I brought it down, but I could scan it and send it to you. And you could email me your comments. And then I could package them and send them to the landscaper if you want me to.
What do people think? I mean, I'd go take a look at it.
This is our first shot really at fixing some of those planting beds. So I think it's really worthwhile to see if we can make sure that it's going to work in the long run because we haven't been able to touch them in like 30 years.
And how soon do they need this?
We probably have about a 2-week time frame.
Okay, so we could look at it and then get back to you like next week.
Because they
Even
just
like if most of us are meeting on Friday,
Mhm.
we could make a decision then if we could look at it between now and next
It's right
Friday.
over here, so close.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the meantime, like I can already have him specify single stem and have him look at a big tree here. And then I'll tell him that you guys are doing site visits and I'll send him more comments.
Okay. So any other project updates, Laura?
Not unless you guys had specific questions.
I had a question about, I remember you asked us to go look at a tree that a homeowner asked to be cut down in
Oh, yes.
Barcelona. Whatever happened on that?
I passed on your recommendation to the highway department that although it wasn't budding out, it looked healthy. And so they're holding off. And I did say we'd do one more sort of late spring, summer visit just to check on
Okay.
it. But right now they're holding off on any,
Okay, I'll keep an eye on it.
yeah.
It's right around the corner from me.
Oh, and you had, Clark had sent something about the Trinity Baptist Church that he had done a
Oh, yeah.
walkthrough. You know, John, that's the one you and I walked through.
Mhm.
And so what was the update on that?
Clark met with them, talked to their person that's removing the trees because we really didn't want an oopsie there. Like it's very clear between the white pines that we're keeping, but it's hard when they're out there because then they just start taking everything down. It's like a habit for them or something. So he met them and went over everything and they're marking around everything that they're not taking down and they do seem very clear on it.
Okay.
So the only thing is, and they have their permit to clear, so they can start clearing back there, is that they still want to meet with us on site to finalize the replanting that they're going to do to offset the clearing.
Okay.
So I need to schedule 2 site walks for you after Arbor Day.
Okay.
The Mohawk Club and the Trinity Baptist.
Okay. Okay, so with that, we go on to the reports. We just, there's nothing else with the Public Outreach Subcommittee. We talked about Arbor Day. So the tree inventory, tree master plan.
I don't have any updates on that. The consultant called me like, I don't know, a couple days ago.
Okay. Is there anything we can be helping you with, Laura?
I mean, maybe what would be the most helpful is that we not this week, but schedule a meeting where
It's Amanda and me on the,
yeah.
Mhm.
And then we just start actually doing work.
yeah, what-
In
is
my
there,
office.
what more work do we,
So I think what's left is there was a lot that Chris had done like the beginnings of the analysis of what was in our neighborhood, but there's a lot of follow up for that actual like data analysis and then just tightening that whole chapter up. It's mostly that one chapter where we're using case study of Old Niskayuna needs the most work.
Okay. And can our consultant help us with that or not?
Not really. We actually deliberately carved that out of the scope to save money.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then tree planting subcommittee?
So I put on there the Climate Warriors is a group of high schoolers that are working on a tree replanting plan at Iroquois. I had a really good meeting with them, watched their presentation. It was great. I loved it. And they took my comments and then took their presentation to the superintendent, who was very receptive to it. It was very good. And who said that he's definitely willing to let them work on a replanting project. They wanted to meet with the tree council to look at the site and select the species. And I have to double check. I think they may have, not that this has anything to do with you guys necessarily, but I think they may have wanted to see if the town could purchase some of the trees. I'm not sure about that, but I will check. We can definitely give them the species and guidance on where they want to plant them. And they're working really hard on it. So I really I think probably the easiest thing to do is Jeff and Leo you're my tree planting committee now, right? Is I'll probably just copy you two and them and then see if we can schedule like a site walk and take a look at what they want to plant out there.
Are they waiting for the work there to be done, or do they want to?
I asked because that was what I thought was going to happen, and apparently it's far enough away that the school is okay with them replanting this season. That's what they said in their last email to me, and that they would like suggestions and input from the tree council.
And you can copy me on.
You want-
it.
okay.
If I can, I'll come too.
So if we don't pay for it, presumably the school district would?
I'm not sure. The funding piece was something that maybe I didn't hear or just recently came up. So that's something that I'm going to have to work through them. It's unlikely that the town would pay for plantings on the school property, but it's not the same as the town. We are definitely not allowed to take taxpayer money and plant on private property. We're just not allowed. Like we can't do that. Unless we have an easement.
Must have a grounds budget.
Yeah, right.
They have to mow
But
it.
it may be slightly different if we're planting trees and putting them on because school's still kind of public. I don't know. I have to look at that.
And again, I wonder if they could get a grant, from the community.
Or like as another thought, like because Schenectady County Soil and Water was planting.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like if we pick the trees and we look at the spot, there's got to be a way that we can
Okay.
get the trees.
But
in the
again, why
ground.
isn't it just part of the budget for the school
I
district?
know.
Project. I don't know. Because the budget I just noticed that they were saying, also, can you help us buy the trees? I will get back to you on that.
Maybe it's not a, can you help us fund the cost of the new trees? Maybe.
Maybe it's, can you help us buy the trees? Like we don't know where to buy them. And
Yeah.
Oh.
so I can clarify that as well. That's
Oh,
a
okay.
possibility, Linda.
Oh, that would be better. We could help with, we could help with that.
Because I thought maybe I missed something. Like I didn't remember them. So maybe I just misread that question. It's a possibility.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll put Carol, Leo, and Jeff. They're really great. They send out emails kind of regularly, trying to keep
Oh, that's good.
in contact. And I just love involving high schoolers. Well, they involve themselves. It's their idea. But anytime we can help them plant things is a good thing.
So nothing else? That's
That's all I had for tree planting.
okay. Then I guess if somebody wants to make a motion to adjourn,
Yes.
oh, yes. Was there anything that you wanted to?
You can come to the microphone. It's very proper. Normally we're upstairs.
Yeah, it's much more informal.
My name's Kate. Carl and I are just about to close on 1380 Van Antwerp, the original house property piece. And part of the subdivision approval was maintaining or keeping several of the historical tree pieces on or trees on that property. We had originally made arrangements to be responsible for the rain garden and garage portion with the owner, so that we could present a different plan, because looking at the location of the rain garden on that property, it's impacting the roots for those trees because of how close it is to the trees, or it will impact them. We, in the last 2 days, apparently there is money in escrow for the owner regarding getting the rain garden completed, and so he started the process of excavating for the rain garden without, we happened to see it driving past, and we stopped. The roots for the 2 largest trees have been the critical parts of the roots. There are significant pieces have been damaged, and there are large sections of the roots that are for the tree next to the house that are currently in a pile of dirt next to the excavation work. At this time, he basically, without without the escrow money that is for the rain garden piece, we're kind of in a stall for closing that because of the trees piece, and we don't want any more done on the rain garden because we don't want any more damage done to those trees. And we want to make sure, because now especially that those pieces of the roots have been removed from those trees, that's going to leave open ends for where the water for the rain garden is going to be saturating that ground, is going to rot those roots out even faster. So we have concerns about him completing that, but he's going to complete it unless the money is released from escrow at this point. So we really want to be able to come back with a different plan for even the rain garden being a different situation. And I know we had emailed back and forth with, I believe you're Laura, right?
Mhm.
We were on some of the emails with Clark about like changing certain pieces of the subdivision plan for that plot. We wanted to come up with a different plan that we wouldn't have be so close to the trees, because right now the edge is less than 5 feet away from that biggest tree. And like I said, with the damage to the roots, we're concerned about that being, it's going to significantly damage that. But we can't do that because he's either going to finish the rain garden so that we can close it and him get that released, or we are, basically what we would like at this point is to be able to come back with a different plan, but we want to close on the property because we are in a position where we're kind of stuck.
So I know the tree council walked that site. That's the site that we actually tried to get those trees designated as historical trees, if anybody remembers that, because they're very large and beautiful. I'm sure they can speak for themselves, but I'm sure that they would be willing to do anything to save those big trees. Some of the issue is that rain garden is taking water for not just the existing home, it's for the 2 homes that are being built. And I did talk to Clark about it a little this morning. I'm just like kind of spitballing ideas because I didn't realize that the rain garden was actually impacting trees. I thought that we had sited the rain garden away from the trees, but I don't have the plans in front of me, and I'm obviously going to believe you because anybody who's coming to it, who wants to move to Niskayuna and is coming to a tree council meeting to save trees is obviously caring and probably right. So, I mean, I would love for you to pause that and then come up with a plan that doesn't impact the existing trees as much. And I don't know how it works with closings because they can be completely awful. But I guess kind of the short answer is that the town doesn't really care who holds the escrow as long as we have some for it to get done. So, I mean, if you guys were willing to put escrow in knowing that you have to build the rain garden, I can return the escrow to the existing owner, but we do have to hold some kind of leverage for the rain garden to get built because that's kind of the rules of subdivision.
Okay.
Would you consider holding a smaller amount?
So we typically, the way the escrow works is that someone submits a estimate to us of how much it's going to cost to do the work. If you could get a quick estimate together of your thoughts and what you think you could do there, we'd be willing to reduce the escrow, but it's based upon a construction estimate most of the time. You're on? Oh, you just turned yourself off.
It's like,
Oh.
I don't understand what this rain garden is. You know?
Wasn't us.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I can. No, the rain garden was the planning board. I think that the footprint of the rain garden doesn't touch the footprint of the trees
But-
on the plan.
What do we talk
Right.
about when you talk about a rain garden that needs to be built for the subdivision? What is this rain garden? I don't-
So, like between McGovern and Hilltop,
Yeah.
there's the existing farm home, and then
Right.
there's the two new homes that are being built.
yeah, I see them
The
all the
two
time. I know
new
what you're
homes
talking
are actually quite a bit higher
Yeah.
than what's the northern one, Hilltop or McGovern?
about. The northern one is McGovern.
Okay, so Hilltop's quite a bit higher than McGovern.
Right.
And when the subdivider was trying to go for the benefit of those two existing homes, which by the way, I mean, the planning board and the tree council said no. We
Yeah.
went into litigation and got overruled. We tried really, really hard not to let that subdivision go through, but we didn't win. Is that those homes are high and then they're adding impervious, so it has to go somewhere. They added a little rain garden along Van Antwerp, but it's not enough to handle all of the runoff that's coming from the new homes. So the rain garden is actually behind them down the hill
Right.
on the existing property, because when the subdivision was going through, there was a single owner of all the parcels.
So this is to collect all the extra rain. that's gonna-
Stormwater, yes.
I see.
Yeah. It's not aesthetic. It's because of the increase in the impervious surface
Right.
above along.
So it's not a garden per se. It's just
Right,
kind of
right,
like a
it's more
tank
just a-
almost or something.
For different area.
It depends. A lot of times they can just be depressions and stuff. Bigger sites like the apartment complex out here, they've filled their rain garden with like witch hazel and things. So you can plant rain
There
gardens.
is on Hilltop, McGovern. If you go to McGovern, those houses are down low.
Yes. along
Just
the-
behind them is like a
A stream.
creek bed.
Yeah,
stream
there
bed.
is. It's a stream. Yes.
There isn't a way of directing the water to the stream instead of
Well, this is your stormwater 101. Like the
Yeah.
water's actually going to go into the stream anyway,
yeah.
but you don't want to direct any once you take non-pervious surface and
Yeah.
turn it into impervious so the rainwater can no longer seep into the soil. The rain's going really fast.
Hmm.
And the problem is the more impervious surface you add to a watershed, when you get a heavy rain event,
Yeah.
there's no retention on
Yeah.
the site. And so you actually really don't want to direct water into a channel quickly because the channel swells much faster.
Right.
And before in the world, they weren't caring. And so they built a lot of impervious surface that is already overloading
Right.
these channels. So now when new development goes in, New York State has like so many regulations, but one of them is you've got to have something on the property that retains the water during a storm event and then releases it slowly once the channel's actually gone down. So you're actually trying to keep water out of it'll eventually get to the channel, but
Yeah.
you're trying to keep it out of
Yeah.
the channel during heavy rain because it's already overloaded. And then you release it slowly once it's gone down.
So
I
now
get it.
that we know where the rain garden is and that it's impacting the roots of these trees that we wanted to keep, whose responsibility is it to maybe look if that rain garden can be in another space or located differently?
Well, as far as responsibility goes, the one sort of unfortunate thing is that the planning board approved the raining garden where it is. So modifications to it would be the responsibility of whoever wanted the benefit of modification. But I mean, I certainly don't mind helping you guys out. I like to save the trees as much as possible, but I am bound by what the planning board approves as
Even
far
if
as
they
stormwater.
know that it's compromising, because they wanted to keep the trees also.
Correct. Yeah, the planning board was very yes, but like as far as timeline goes, well, the planning board approved it that way. So the owner has a right to build it that way. Like even if there's an unintended consequence, the planning board couldn't go out there and say, "Stop, like you're hurting the trees," and I didn't want that. Hopefully they would have identified that ahead of time, but in this case it sounds like probably the footprint of the tree on the plans was smaller than the crown, which is likely. And then, you know, the execution of the rain garden is more harmful than the planning board thought that it was going to be. But I
Is
mean,
there someone that can check to make sure that they're installing it
correctly.
correctly?
Yeah, we
And,
could do
like,
that too. We could send someone out to see.
Would it be possible at this point, since they have done a significant amount of excavation on that piece, and we're obviously not gonna leave it the way it is, to say, okay, we're gonna work with you guys and the planning board and figure out a solution, but we're gonna say that his piece is done, and then that way we can close, and this can be something that we work out between, like, you guys and the planning board without this because otherwise it's gonna be held up until this all gets like sorted out with. And that's our concern at this point. We don't want any, like, right now, we can keep working as much as, you know,
We modify it in the future.
yeah, like, well, not even necessarily, we just want to be able to close so that we are in a position that we can modify things with them where, you know, nothing else is gonna be completed, we can close. I mean, we're at the point where we're ready to close, except this piece. So if there's a way for him to get, you know, his stuff cleared from escrow based on the fact that he's already, the hole is there at this point. So it's really a matter of us working out something else to, you know, but obviously we have to get engineering and look at, you know, there's a lot involved
In changing it around.
right.
I don't need to have escrow for the engineering, and possibly one of the things you could do or say to reduce the escrow is that the hole's already been excavated. So what's left to do is, you know, to add lining and mulching and plant beds and things like that. But I think it does come down to that you guys would need to provide escrow for whatever work was remaining on it as it is. Then I can release it from, you know, the existing developer. And then you guys, I mean, there isn't a timeline usually on the escrow. It would give you a lot of time to figure out what you want to do with the rest of it. But I do have to hold escrow for it.
Do you guys have an idea of what you would want, how you would want it modified? Like from,
Longer and narrower, would be the simplest.
So it's avoiding
Trees.
the critical areas around the trees and so that it was
Not so impactful to the yard.
correct.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. I think you could probably get the engineering to do that, and you know, we can review it, and it would be okay. But the only way that I can release that, I mean, legally, there has to be escrow for that rain garden per the subdivision. But again, it doesn't have to come from a specific human. So as long as you know, you could, a lot of times, like we hold escrow for trees, for example. So like right now on a different subdivision, we have, for each lot, we have $700 in escrow, but there's 66 lots in that subdivision. So the total escrow that we're holding for trees is like $44,000 or something. They can come to us and say, we've planted 10 lots. Can you please release $7,000 of escrow? And I absolutely can. So what I'm saying is, we have the 5,000 for the escrow now. Like you can say, I have done half, like, or whatever it is, like, because I've excavated it. So then you can take that part of the escrow is released. And then based on whatever you think that it would take to complete the escrow is all that I would need to take from a new owner. And I can hold that escrow while you guys are working through the engineering and everything else that you have to do.
Okay. So
not the easiest answer ever, but I do feel like it's a possibility, to be able to change the stormwater. I just do have to hold money.
So we just have to figure out what it would cost to complete what's there and then move from there.
Yeah, like you can essentially submit a letter with your cost estimate, offering that escrow, then I can release the 5,000 that I have and take what's left.
So we can't, as the tree council, go back to the planning board and say that we want to protect those trees and they're being damaged?
You can, but you would still need escrow because
Yeah.
you can't erase the need for a stormwater
water,
retention
yeah.
basin in the subdivision. You
Yeah.
can certainly support, if they were to go and say, here's our engineering and it saves all the tree
Mm.
roots, the tree council could 100% say, we wanted this and we're recommending it and we want you guys to really consider it. But you couldn't erase the
Right.
need for having a stormwater retention pond.
Right. Yeah.
Can you let them know, though, the planning board, that the rain garden is impacting the trees because they want to save the trees, you need a rain garden. But that,
So I can definitely let them know. The planning board, this particular planning board has, in my mind, been more receptive to tree council recommendations than I've ever seen.
yeah,
And I obviously can't speak for them, but my guess would be that if you told the planning board that the rain garden was impacting the trees, they would 100% be behind refiguring out how the rain garden could work. I really don't expect that
okay.
to be problematic either here, obviously, or the planning board. The only issue is you have to hold the
Right.
stormwater for the subdivision. Yeah, that's true of all subdivisions.
We also don't want to hold up closing on the property at this point either because of something related to, there being a question of what the planning board either was closing on it. So we'd rather be able to close and move forward from there, so. that's part of it.
I think you'll find, it can be tricky because I know this board sometimes gets a little frustrated when subdivisions require a decent amount of tree removal. But generally speaking, people in Niskuna are really protective of their trees and really do want to keep them. And you'll find a lot of support for trying to keep the trees. Yeah, I don't see that being an issue.
Thank you.
Best of luck, you guys.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I'm sorry for all the emails, but you're welcome to stop by or call me in the morning. I will be in the office all day tomorrow.
Okay, it was a yesterday and today thing, and I happened to see that the meeting was today, and I was like, you're right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Awful timing. Awful timing to have that happen while they're closing.
Okay.
So we got stormwater and escrow 101 today.
So, on that note, shall we make a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Anyone second? Okay. All in favor, we'll adjourn. Thank you, everyone.
You guys.